What if I told you that the richest investor in human history, a man worth over $130 billion, built the foundation of his empire not in a boardroom, not in college, but before he even turned 12 years old? Warren Buffett didn't get lucky. He didn't inherit a fortune. He built habits. Quietly. Consistently. Starting at age 11. And today, I'm going to break down those exact habits, the ones Buffett himself has talked about in interviews, letters, and biographies, and show you how you can apply them to your own life. Stay until the end, because habit number 7 is the one most people completely overlook, and it might be the most powerful one of all. Let's get into it. At age 11, Warren Buffett walked into a brokerage firm with his sister Doris and bought 3 shares of Citi's Service Preferred at $38 per share. He wasn't old enough to drive. He wasn't in high school yet. But he had been studying the stock market since age 6, reading his father's stock books off the shelf. Most people wait for the right time to start investing, start a business, or build a skill. Buffett's lesson number 1: the right time is now, even if you're imperfect. The stock dropped to $27 first, and young Warren held. When it bounced back to $40, he sold. He made a small profit, and then watched it climb to $200. That lesson, patience versus premature selling, haunted him and sharpened him. He would never make that mistake again. The habit: start early. Learn from the discomfort of being wrong. When asked the secret to his success, Buffett once held up a stack of papers and said, "Read 500 pages like this every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up, like compound interest." By age 11, Buffett had already read every book on investing in the Omaha Public Library, twice. His favorites were books on business, biographies of great leaders, and annual reports. Today, Buffett still spends 80% of his working day reading. He reads 5 to 6 hours every single day. Most people scroll social media for 3 hours and wonder why their life isn't changing. Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime partner, said, "I have never met a wise person who didn't read all the time." The habit: read daily. Read deeply. Make knowledge your compound interest. Habit number 3: build multiple streams of income early. At age 13, Buffett was already running multiple businesses simultaneously. He had a paper route delivering the Washington Post. He sold used golf balls. He operated pinball machines he'd placed in local barbershops, and he hired someone else to manage them. At 13 years old, he was already thinking like a business owner, not an employee. By the time he filed his first tax return at age 13, he deducted his bicycle as a business expense. He earned $175 that year, roughly $4,000 in today's money. As a child. The habit: don't just earn money, build systems that earn money for you. Habit number 4: seek out the smartest people in the room. At age 19, Buffett read a book that changed everything, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. He called it the best book about investing ever written. He was so moved by it that he applied to Columbia Business School specifically because Graham taught there. When he found out Graham was on the board of Geico, he took a train to Washington, D.C. on a Saturday, unannounced, knocked on the door, and spent 4 hours learning from a senior executive there. That's not luck. That's intentional pursuit of mentorship. Later, Buffett worked for Graham directly, even when Graham initially rejected his application. Buffett offered to work for free. Graham eventually said yes. The habit: identify who is 10 years ahead of you and do whatever it takes to learn from them. Habit number 5: guard your time fiercely. Buffett's calendar is famously almost empty. No back-to-back meetings. No endless Zoom calls. He once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." As a teenager, Buffett was laser-focused. He didn't spread his attention across 10 hobbies. He went deep on investing, business, and math. Period. He developed what he later described as a personal rule: write down your top 25 goals, then avoid goals 6 through 25 like the plague. Those aren't your second priorities. They are distractions disguised as opportunities. The habit: protect your focus. Say no to almost everything so you can say yes to the right things. Habit number 6: think in decades, not days. Buffett's greatest mental model isn't a stock formula, it's time. From age 11, he understood one concept better than almost anyone alive: compound interest. He once said, "My wealth has come from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest." He didn't try to get rich quickly. He bought good businesses. He waited. He bought more. He waited longer. 95% of Buffett's wealth was built after his 65th birthday, because he let compounding do the heavy lifting for 70-plus years. He also applied compounding to knowledge, relationships, and reputation, not just money. The habit: play the long game. Every action you take today is an investment in who you'll be in 10 years. Habit number 7: live by an inner scorecard, not an outer one. This is the habit most people miss, and it may be Buffett's most powerful one. Buffett talks about the difference between an inner scorecard and an outer scorecard. An outer scorecard is living for what other people think of you: the car you drive, the title on your business card, the likes on your post. An inner scorecard is asking, would I be happy with this choice if no one ever found out? His father, Howard Buffett, modeled this for him. Warren grew up watching a man make decisions based on principles, not popularity. Buffett still lives in the same house in Omaha he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He drives a modest car. He eats McDonald's for breakfast most mornings. Not because he can't afford more, but because he knows who he is without needing to prove it to anyone. The habit: define success on your own terms. Build a life you're proud of from the inside out. Bringing it all together. So let's recap the 7 habits Warren Buffett built before most of us even figured out what we wanted to be when we grew up. Start before you're ready, and learn from early mistakes. Read voraciously every single day. Build systems, not just income. Chase mentorship relentlessly. Protect your focus by saying no. Think in decades, not days. Live by your inner scorecard. Here's the thing: none of these habits are complicated. They're not secrets locked behind a Wall Street paywall. They're disciplines. Available to anyone. Including you. Buffett himself said, "Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." The question isn't whether these habits work. The question is, will you start them today? If this video gave you even one idea that shifts how you think about your future, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop in the comments, which habit are you starting this week? I read every comment. See you in the next one.